throw out your planner and your 12-step 5 a.m. wellness routine. Because unless you change these 3 hidden things, you will never stay consistent. And trust me, I had to learn this the hard way. For years, I tried to copy these perfect morning routines. You know the ones, the 5 a.m. workouts, the 90-minute morning routines with the perfect gym set. And guess what? I failed every single time. At first, I thought there was something legitimately wrong with me. Like I didn't have the discipline or the willpower. But here's what changed everything for me. The problem was the system that I was trying to use. And once I learned how to build routines that actually fit around my life, my biology, and my nervous system, everything changed. And that's exactly what I'm going to walk you through in today's video. Not another fake aesthetic routine, but the strategy that actually made me consistent with my fitness and my goals after years of starting over. Let's be real, I never kept starting over and over because I had no drive. I kept restarting because I was fighting 3 hidden enemies. My identity. I used to say things like, I am just not a consistent person. I always fall off. I'm good for like a week and then I just crash. And my brain actually believed that. Number 2, my nervous system. Stress had my body running on cortisol 24/7. And when your stress is high, your brain craves comfort, not discipline. Number 3, my environment. My phone, my kitchen, my routine, even the people around me. All of it made my old habits really easy to go back to. So of course, I restarted over and over. The Sunday motivation, super high. Monday was good, but by Tuesday or Wednesday, one simple inconvenience, like a late night, a stressful meeting, and boom, I quit. So you're not failing, your system is. Now listen, you're not inconsistent because you're weak. Consistency actually happens when you start to build a system that your brain is actually comfortable and safe with. I stopped treating my habits like punishments and started treating them like support. So if your routine feels safe enough, simple enough, flexible enough, and actually fits your life, your brain will begin to protect it automatically. And I learned if you don't change these 3 things, no planner will ever last more than like 3 weeks. So let me go ahead and break down the science in plain English. Your planning brain gets tired, and that's the prefrontal cortex. It burns out fast, which is why willpower fades, and your habits live somewhere else. The basal ganglia, that part likes things that are simple and repeated, and stress ultimately derails everything. So when your cortisol rises, you go into survival mode, which means cravings, quitting, avoiding, or buffering. All the things you consider bad discipline. Your identity is the glue. When you see yourself as the woman that keeps promises to herself, your brain will defend that identity for you. Okay, this is the part where no one wants to talk about. And if you're a woman, this is huge. Remember, we don't have the same energy week to week. So we need to talk about why I and so many women sometimes feel inconsistent. And it has nothing to do with discipline, motivation, or even trying harder. It's your biology, your hormones, your nervous system, and your energy cycles. The piece that no one teaches us. But when you finally understand it, consistency makes a bit more sense. Now hear me out for a second. During the follicular phase of your cycle, everything feels a lot easier because your biology supports the effort. Your dopamine is higher. Your stress tolerance is a lot better. Your energy and focus feels natural. This is the week where you finally feel, okay, I'm ready. I can do this. Let's go. The routine actually starts to stick. Then your luteal phase shows up. This is the week right before your period. And this is where I felt like I was falling off. But what was actually happening was my energy dropped, my hunger increased due to an increased metabolism, my energy dropped due to progesterone rises, and in my case, my energy dropped significantly. Emotional sensitivity increased. My decision making became so much harder, and stress felt so much heavier to handle. Your brain literally shifts from achievement mode to protection mode. And that's why meal prepping felt super overwhelming. My workouts felt almost impossible. My cravings intensified. All motivation seemed to disappear. And that's not a character flaw. That is predictable biology. When your period actually begins, here's what's happening in your body. Your estrogen and progesterone drop significantly. Inflammation might rise. The cramps, the extreme pain that never seems to feel alleviated comes in. Your iron is lower, which means less oxygen delivery throughout your body, which can cause extreme fatigue or even dizziness. Especially in my case, which I dealt with anemia, and your uterus is literally shedding its lining. During this time, your body is doing work. This is gonna ultimately mean that your lifts are gonna feel heavier, your cardio feels almost impossible, your endurance may drop. You're not weak, and you're definitely not dedicated. You're literally bleeding and hormonally changing. For me, trying to stay consistent with my fitness routine felt super difficult. Why? Because I had zero energy after my period. I felt super depleted, like I needed to recover from the week alone. And in a lot of the cases, especially during my period, I could not do strength training and barely do any intense cardio for that matter. So I use my menstrual week for active or just simply full recovery. But this made it so difficult for me to get back into the swing of things by getting right back into my fitness routine. So how do you still reach your goals and stay consistent during this time without fighting yourself, without pushing through the burnout, without demeaning yourself and calling yourself lazy? Here's the approach that worked for me. Listen to your body during your period, not Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube for that matter. Some women feel amazing lifting during their period, and others might feel like they've been hit by a train. Both are normal. The goal is not to push through this period. The goal is to stay in motion without draining your nervous system. And this could look like lighter strength training for some, Pilates for others, low intensity cardio, mobility work, long walks, possibly even cycle syncing your workouts, or straight up taking a full rest. Resting is not quitting. Resting is regulation. Switch from perfection to a minimal effective dose. Instead of trying to hit that perfect plan, follow what actually works during your low energy days. Doing that 15 to 25 minute workout instead of the 45-minute workouts. Switching to simple meals instead of prepping like 10 meals in advance. Using a protein first approach, but actually also including those fats and carbs. And doing those 1 to 2 non-negotiable tasks instead of the 20 tasks that you put on your calendar. Keep movement throughout the day. Consistency equals sustainable effort. Use your high energy weeks strategically. And when you feel powerful, especially during the follicular phase, that is the week to start those new habits. Push even heavier in the gym. Meal prep in those bigger batches. Start organizing your life and getting it together. And that's when you start to build momentum. Use the energy when it's naturally there. Reframe rest as a part of your fat loss strategy. Women who rest strategically will burn more fat, regulate their hunger a lot better, have steadier energy, stay consistent a lot longer, avoid those hormonal crashes. And women who force themselves to grind out during those low energy phases typically burn out, binge more often, quit more often, restart, and possibly even repeat the cycle. This is why so many women think they're actually inconsistent. They're just working in a poorly designed system. Now, this changed my entire life. I stopped trying to feel motivated and actually started to give myself proof. Tiny proof, micro actions that were too small to fail. For me, that was having 20-minute strength training exercises at least 3 times per week, having at least protein-packed lunches every single day of the week. When I started to do these tiny actions for about 30 days, my brain stopped saying I'm an inconsistent person, and it started saying we're actually doing this now. Consistency drama. This is where you failed so many times, your brain almost expects you to fail again. So every attempt felt super scary. Every restart feels just so heavy. And the solution is to treat every mess up as data, not failure. Your environment will win every time, good or bad. And here are the things that I had to change. I stopped buying the snacks that triggered my bingey habits. I put dumbbells right by my bed. I turned off like 95% of the notifications on my phone. I kept quick protein options ready to go. I pre-planned my workouts, so when I got into the gym, I wasn't just making it up as I go along, and designated specific days for my actual strength training sessions. Alright, so here's the part where everybody skips to, but honestly, these 5 steps are the reason I stopped living in start over mode. These are the final steps that actually made consistency feel a lot easier. Not perfect, not aesthetic, just doable. Step 1, I stopped trying to overhaul my entire life and picked one thing that I can do in 20 minutes or less. And I did this every single day for a month, and that was my walks. I ensured that I actually made time for that walk every single day. And that tiny something trained my brain to trust myself again. Number 2, cycle syncing and energy mapping. Once I aligned my routine with my energy cycles, instead of trying to fight it, everything changed. When I was in my follicular phase, I push. When I was in my luteal phase, I still worked out, but not as intense. And on my period, I rested or slowed it down. And for the first time in my life, my routine didn't completely fall apart because I wasn't forcing myself to be the same every single day. I just wanted to show up. Number 3, now this one changed my entire personality. Instead of trying to feel like I was a disciplined woman, I started giving myself tiny proof that I actually was one. I set up 2 or 3 micro behaviors so that I wouldn't fail. And suddenly my brain stopped arguing with me. And it started saying, oh hey, we're actually doing this now. Number 4, the flexibility frame. Here's the truth. Life will absolutely interrupt your entire routine. Your kids, your job, your stress, your hormones. Something will always come up. So instead of building a routine that breaks every time something gets messy, build a routine that's actually flexible. I learned how to switch from plan A, plan B to plan C without spiraling. And flexibility became my consistency weapon. And number 5, your nervous system care. And finally, this was the missing puzzle piece. If your nervous system is stressed out, tired, overstimulated, or overwhelmed, your habits do not stand a chance. And I had to learn how to calm my body down so that my brain can actually follow. And once I did, everything clicked. My cravings lowered. My mood started to stabilize. My motivation stopped disappearing. Consistency started to feel like something I felt and not chased. The main point is consistency beats fake perfection every single time. So if this video hit home for you, go ahead and like the video. Comment down below if you have any questions. And don't forget to subscribe. I drop videos weekly on things like hormones, fat loss, emotional wellness. And I'll see you in the next video.